Hello and welcome back to Emergent Technology. My name is Andrew. Thanks for joining me today. Today, we are going to be talking about Nanoleaf light tiles. I want to start off by saying that this video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I've not been offered any money or offered any incentives by Nanoleaf whatsoever. No affiliation. But I'm so happy with them that I am making this video just about it so I can rant a little bit about just how much I like these lights. The reason that I came to find Nanoleaf lights is because I have an office space here that I use for work. This is my general office. I've got a computer, I've got speakers, I've got a camera here. My monitor is literally right over here. And the problem is in the morning, sun comes in and hits these back walls of the room really, really hard. And as a result, my webcam exposes for the very bright background, leaving my face completely dark despite having 4 overhead recessed can lights and 2 pendant lights that hang down from the ceiling. They're just not bright enough to overcome that natural light. What I needed was something that would front light my face while not looking like a sort of makeshift MacGyvered solution. I do have a circular LED ring that I occasionally use for portraits that I just don't get a lot of use of, and I frankly don't want sitting on top of my monitor the whole time. So what I did is I started searching for wall-mounted, flush mount LED solutions, something that would be aesthetically pleasing, and what I came across was the Nanoleaf. Now, there's a whole bunch of different styles in terms of shape and layouts for these Nanoleaf, but the one that I like the most was the Nanoleaf Shapes, and these come in various shapes and various sizes. The one that I found that particularly appealed to me was called the Nanoleaf Hexagon Shapes. These are LED panels that have millions of color options and varieties because they are fully RGB, as well as a whole array of white color balance, color temperatures for different situations. So if you want to match natural light, you might set it to a more natural light setting. If you want it to match your overhead lighting, you might set it to a different white balance setting. The goal overall, again, was to make sure that I was front lit strongly enough that my face would not be darkened up by my webcam's automatic exposure settings when I'm on Zoom, and I spend many hours a week on Zoom. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you a little bit of a demonstration. I'm going to first shut off the lights, which are on right now on a color type of setting. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Again, this is not morning, so this is not fully representative of how bad it can get, but I'll show you the difference. Using the app on my phone, I have turned off the lights, and these are completely off. The only lights that I have on are the 4 overhead can lights and the 2 pendant lights, which on this video don't look too awful, but then again, I have full manual controls on my mirrorless camera, and the sun is not coming directly in through these windows right over here. So what I'm going to do is turn these lights back on to a full white color. This is going to be a bluish white that's going to be more like daylight, and you're going to see what a big difference it makes in the fill. And my camera is not going to adjust for the exposure, so I might get a little bit bright for a second. So there's been a lot more light added, and it's all front light. So if I turn down the exposure by increasing my shutter speed, actually I'm just going to decrease my ISO for a second and get this more balanced out. What you see as a result is that we have this really white, diffuse light front lighting my face, but with no like specular highlights that cause it to look super harsh. If this camera was right on top of my monitor, which my webcam is, you see a little bit of the reflection of the hexagons in the painting that is on the opposite wall, but it's not distracting in the slightest. So, this is the cool white. The warm white is going to match the inside color of the lamps a little bit more. In fact, they're a little bit warmer than the lamps that I have in here already. So you can sort of, take your pick. Warm white is better for the evening, say if you're reading or something. Cool sun temperature white is going to be better for matching the light that's coming in the windows, which again looks a little bit more like this. So overall, I really like it. Now, again, my camera's not going to compensate when I turn this off. So now that I've compensated for all this light, I'm going to shut the light off, and you're going to see what a difference it makes. So that's how much darker it gets when I shut these off. It is a significant difference. I have 21 panels up on the wall. I thought I was going to use all 30 or 31 panels that came with the particular kit combination that I bought, but frankly, it was enough given the space that I have. And so what I ended up doing is I bought a miniature triangle kit to get another control unit, because the control unit is what drives up to 500 panels, and you need one control unit for every installation that you have in the house. I would have bought the control unit on its own from Nanoleaf or elsewhere, but they are sold out. They're normally 30 bucks. So I spent the 100 with a little bit of credit that I had at my local retailer, and got a new kit, and that's in a separate installation downstairs that is far more decorative than it is practical. So bottom line for the Nanoleaf, it is not cheap. Okay, these kits are not cheap. I think I've spent about $800 on these lights. In my opinion, they're worth every penny. But I recognize that not everyone can or wants to spend $800 on lighting, although it is much cheaper than having an electrician come out and put in proper lighting that is flush mounted or otherwise very aesthetic to the room. Second, I want to touch on a little bit of the app capability. This particular app does work with Apple HomeKit. It does work standalone. So far, I've had very few problems with it. It can update the firmware of the individual control modules. So far, pretty good. It also integrates well with Google Home, which is what I overwhelmingly use, as I do have Google Home and the Home Mini and Home speakers in my house. So I can just say, Google, turn on Office, and it will turn on all the lights in my office, including the one above me right here. Or I could say, Google, set Office blue. And it will set the light blue because it is the only color changeable light in my office group. Or I can just say, Google, turn off Office Nanoleaf. And it does it just like that. Very, very responsive. I do like the tight app integration. And I think this is some of what you're paying for when you're paying the premium for Nanoleaf versus some imitations, of which there are certainly many online. Just take a look at Amazon, you'll see many of them. Lastly, I want to talk about, but unfortunately cannot show you right now, the installation process. Installation was really, really nice on these. What they have basically is the equivalent of a 3M strip that you put on the back of a mounting plate that is already attached to the Nanoleaf shape. It goes up on the wall, you give it a little bit of pressure for a few seconds, and it sticks. And when you want to remove the panel, you pull the panel off, leaving the little mounting bracket, and you can pull the little adhesive strips off, ideally leaving no damage on your wall, although I have not tried this yet. The other part of the installation has to do with connecting the modules one to the other. You need one power source for up to a certain number of panels depending on the power supply that you get. The 42-watt power supply that comes along with many of these kits is good for about 20 hexagon panels, and of course the smaller the panel, the less energy it requires. You can get a 70+ watt kit that can support more lights, but if you just have a large kind of setup and you have two of the 42-watt power supplies, you can actually connect both power supplies to the setup and you're completely fine. What Nanoleaf cautions you against is using two different wattage power supplies on one contiguous installation. Other than that, the installation was quite easy. The setup was quite easy. I had a couple hiccups getting it set up with HomeKit, but after 2 or 3 tries, it was completely fine. And the other really cool thing that I will show you with a little screen cap over here is that once you plug the panels in, the system automatically knows exactly how you've attached the panels and what shape that you're making. And then what's really cool is that the app allows you to create custom scenes that customizes the colors and configurations for each one of those panels that you have in the system. So all in all, it's a very customizable system. It offers you a lot of options in relation to placement and flexibility. And speaking of flexibility, there's even a little flex kit that allows you to attach multiple shapes on a 90-degree angle and put them up on a corner rather than one large flat surface of your room. So anyway, I hope you like this brief overview of the Nanoleaf shapes, specifically the Nanoleaf Hexagon shapes. So far, I really love this system. I love the customizability. I love the app integration. I love just the amount of light it puts out, and I love what it's done for my room. So if you have any experience with the Nanoleaf, go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and maybe leave a comment in any case. All right, thanks for watching Emergent Technology. Have a great day. Cheers.